Hi guys, this is Aish from Classic Quilts, and today we have a new been in the market for definitely a couple of months, but with all the craziness going on out there in the world, it took us a little bit of time to get this into our stores. So if you're in the UAE, oh my god, you're gonna really enjoy this machine. And I thought I'm gonna take you through all the accessories that comes with it. I'm gonna show you a little bit on how it sews and the features that are to die for in the 79. And also, I'm going to show you basically all the magical moments that you get out of this machine. So first, we're going to start off by opening it. Opening the machine is my favorite part only and only because it's like Christmas in July, which it almost is anyway. Talk about how massive this box is. It's huge. Bring you guys to this side of the table, and I'm going to show you everything that we get inside the box of this machine. Ideally, when you go online, you should be able to see all of these resources there as well, but isn't it cooler to see how it comes packed in the bernette box, right? So let's do this. Okay, so there are lots of things that come in the machine, and I'm going to take you guys through it so you have a very good visual of what it looks like. The first thing is, which I saw, is a certificate of guarantee. So there's got a two-year warranty period for the entire machine and all its parts. Specifically, if you are in our region and you buy it from us, we got you, don't worry about it. There is of course a quick reference book, and this basically gives you a quick idea on as to how you can, basically use the machine. But a lot about the bernette is also available on YouTube, and that's practically how I have figured out how to use this machine. But once again, I'm also going to show you guys a little bit of how to play with it. So by the end of this nice little opening and usage, you should have a very good idea on how this machine can probably be a very good machine to have for yourselves. All right, there are a bunch, oh my god, a bunch of accessories, and let's have a look. So there is a buttonhole foot, and I'm going to show you how we use the 79 to do buttonholes. This is the embroidery foot. This is a sewing machine with embroidery capabilities, guys, and it is absolutely fantastic how cool you can get with your sewing just using this one contraption. There's a screwdriver. So like basic tools that you're going to need before you start sewing. These are the discs and the foam pads that you're going to use to like put in your thread spools on your machine. This is to all the lint and dust. This is a seam guide. I think we'll have a separate tutorial one day on as to how. This is the embroidery foot as well. So that's an open to clear foot, and then this is a non-clear sole. And then we've got bobbins, and then there are all these different feet that come with the machine. So you get a couple of spare bobbins, and I'll take you through these feet as well once we're on the machine. These are the stoppers that go onto your machine, like to hold your thread spool. Machine oil, it's so cute. Can't take the Bernina element out of a bernette. So there are some needles as well that come with the machine. And let me finally lay this all out. So you're basically sorted, guys, in terms of like basic sewing needs that you would have to just basically go ahead and get yourself oriented behind the machine. So this is an embroidery machine, so of course you get a straight stitch plate, It also has cut work ability, which is so cool. I cannot wait to show you guys how this works. So you get, there's a power cord. Oh, and guys, look at this. Okay, anybody who owns Bernina would know why I make this face. Like even like my facial expression, you can tell. You get a knee lift for the 79, and this is such a game changer. Bernettes have never seen one of these before. This is a gift. I think this is absolutely a gift. This is a embroidery software that's done by Bernina called Bernina Toolbox. It's a very basic beginner software, but it allows you to do a lot of lettering and a lot of editing in your computer. And for an embroidery machine, I think this is an amazing thing to get along with the machine, because a lot of people end up trying to find online resources where they can buy it for free or get it for free or buy another software separately. But here they're giving you a system to start with. So thank you, Bernina. This is amazing. Embroiderers are always looking for size of hoops when it comes to doing their embroidery. And look at the size of the hoop that you get with this one. And I want to show you guys the size of the hoop you get on a Bernina, just for you to get an idea about how much you get from the Bernette 79. Hold on, yeah? So this is a large oval hoop. All the embroidery modules that you get for Berninas give you the basic small, medium, and then the large oval hoop. I am your mommy. You are a little baby. I mean, literally, like, doesn't it feel like... I'm sure embroiderers out there are probably going like, oh, okay, interesting. Game on, game on. But there's, of course, a medium-sized one, and then there's even a teeny tiny one. Guys, I want to show you like how the hooping system works. Of course, you get the grid as well. It tells you the embroidery size that you can do. So it's 50 by 70 millimeters, so 5 by 7 centimeters. But look at that. You can screw it on and off, and that's kind of how you like put, place, and then tighten. So it's a really easy way to actually work through embroidery hoops. Don't worry, we're going to do a nice little embroidery demo for you at the later part of this tutorial. But just, you know, I'm just so excited. I can't contain myself. We're getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. Oh, yeah. I actually thought that was a foot pedal, but turns out it was part of the embroidery module. Surprise! Okay, so a massive slide-on table. It's the size of my torso. And a machine dust cover. You can see the eye for detail. It's an embroidered one. It's black. I think it's the best color to have for a sewing machine dust cover. I go to the gym, so it should be easy for me to pull this guy out. But let's do the machine now, guys. Okay, it's really light, I have to say. That's nice to know because it's easy to take it around. I'm gonna put this guy on the table so that we can actually look more into it. So I have the Bernette 79 right in front of me, and oh my god, it literally looks like a Bernina. You can see the Berninas behind me, and you can literally see that they look so similar, right? This is a very deliberate move by Bernina. I think they just wanted everybody, irrespective of what machine they're using, to have a fantastic user experience. And there is no better way to do that than to always believe when you're using it that it looks like a Bernina and it behaves like a Bernina, because it is designed by Bernina after all. So that family feeling is now coming into the Bernette side, and we just are so excited because this basically means that anybody out there, beginner, a budget customer, or anybody out there, they're able to enjoy a fabulous sewing experience. So the first thing I'm going to point out is the foot. And I have to say, I really want to know, and I'm putting this out there to my YouTube family because I really, really want to know, who's the guy who designs how all of these are packed into a box? Because this is so clever. When I pulled it all I could think of was, how did he know the foot pedal had to go there? Like, how did he know the slide-on table had to go there? You know, like, who decides this? It's like a genius job, guys. Like, I'm so bad at this that I have so much appreciation for the fact when I see it comes like so nice and snug and so well protected. So, see? Silica gel. Okay, so this is the Bernette foot pedal. And I wanted to show you how the old bernette foot pedals look like. And then I wanted to show you how a Bernina foot pedal looks like. You see what I mean? The Bernina family feel is now coming into the bernette range, which I think is a huge thing. It's so exciting. I don't know how to give you that excitement, but I'm so excited for all of you who get to use the 79 in the future. So I'm going to put that in. We're going to show you in a bit how it works anyways, all right? So I'm going to pull this guy out. Like seriously, fabulous, fabulous engineering. So nothing moves during shipment. You can already see that this machine has gone through industry approved testing. So yes, we already know it sews very well. Top loading bobbin. A lot of people tend to love this feature. And if I pull out embroidery module. But I like how big the arm is. And I think you can already see where this is going to go. I have to remove the tape. So take this out when I don't want it because I'm going to be embroidering. And then just slide this in. It's one big baby. Isn't it beautiful? Hi guys, welcome back. So I'm now in front of the machine with good visibility, thank you, to my Uno lamp. And I thought I'll just show you threading mechanism. It comes with an embroidery. I think they want us to know that they've done the embroidery test as well. I'm going to put the knee lift right where it's supposed to be, which is here. And I can already see that there is access for me to put in my thread here. And they've already threaded the top needle, but I'm going to show you how we do it anyways. Just so you know how bernettes and berninas now function, all dotted lines are bobbin winding, and then all solid lines are top needle threading. So this is not a tutorial on how to thread the bobbin. We'll probably do one in the future. But this little guy here is the stylus that you use to like interact with the touch screen. So there's like a nice slot to put it so that we don't lose it as well. How cool is that? Okay, so I'm gonna now thread the machine and I will show you how this is done really quickly. Just follow the solid lines. That's all it is. Right, so the needle is in the top position. Go down, over, around. If you want to see a little bit better, does that help? I bet it does. So it's a semi-automatic threader, so I need to bring the foot down. So let me actually switch the machine on for a moment. I have plugged it in, switch it on. Okay, waiting for it to start and calibrate. This is quite like, there we go, now it's the green light. I think I'm good. I'm gonna pick my language. I'm gonna use my stylus. English, thank you. We'll come to the screen in a bit, so I'm gonna put the foot down. So there is nothing on the back for me to put the foot up and down, just note guys, yeah? Then this is all normal, the sorry. It's just that I have a camera to the side of my hand, so I'm just a bit conscious of it. So put that in and then pull it through. It's not so shabby, not too bad. So I'm going to make it come to the screen, and if you could just focus on the screen right now so I can just show you quickly how to read a screen. Now if you are a Bernina user, I'm sure the first thing in your head is like, this looks a lot like the Bernina interface, and this is true because the Bernina interface is so user-friendly. Why not have it in the bernettes, right? So you can easily see right now what your stitch length is. Anytime you want to change it, you can always use the dial, and you can see that you're now looking at 2mm stitch length or longer, right? Anytime you don't want it, you just have to click that button and come across. If you want to increase the stitch width, play with this dial, and then you can see how even the needle starts to move when I am doing this because it's preparing for a zigzag stitch. This machine goes all the way for 7mm, which is a really, really nice stitch width for you to have for just general sewing and for your decorative stitches. You can read more on the screen. This kind of tells me that after every single stitch, the needle is going to stop at the top of the fabric. If I want the needle to stop at the bottom, which is what I want, I just press that. And now I know after every stitch, it's going to stop at the bottom. This tells me what foot is on the machine. It tells me the pressure that the foot has on the fabric. And it tells me what stitch plate that I'm using right now. How cool is that, that we even can, if I don't like any of the changes that I've made on the screen, I can just click clear and it comes back to default. There are plenty of these stitch folders, which I think is a very nice feature of a machine that one would look at, because what kind of stitches do you get for the spend that you're making, right? So you've got all these folders, and these are your, and I'll show you what each of them stand for. So you've got folder 1, folder 2, folder 3, folder 4, 5 and 6. And each of these folders, if you actually click this arrow here, it opens up the view and you can actually see all the stitches that come here. The first topmost folder is always your basic sewing stitches, your everyday stitches that you run looking for, right? So you have the straight, the zigzag, you've got a bunch of these that's a triple stitch, you've got overlock stitches, you've got your edge stitches, etc., etc. See, this is just a very wide, long basting stitch, right? So you could, of course, program a stitch 1 to look like these, or you could just access it right away. And you know what? If you want to do stitch number 20, you could just even come here and then select 2, 0, and then voila, we are ready with stitch 20. So you can choose 2 ways to do it. You could just know the number, or you could just basically find it from what a photograph looks like. So when people think that a touch screen actually complicates a sewing machine, I think by now you must be thinking this is so much easier than trying to find a dial-up knob or trying to like push like a million buttons, because it's all just in front of you. And I love that about modern technology and sewing machines today. This is your file folder for all your decorative stitches. So got some really nice embroidery options, and like I said, your machine goes all the way for 7 millimeters of stitch width. So that means I have the opportunity to play with this. See, increase distance, decrease distance, can create my own unique stitches. And that's what that heart folder is. Like, for example, if I really love this triangular pattern, and that's like 3.9 millimeters in height and 6.1 millimeters in width, and I know I'm going to use this for a particular project always, I have the ability to use machine memory and save it in my heart folder. It's in my heart now. You know what that means? That means that tomorrow, and tomorrow could be 10 weeks in the future, 10 weeks in the future, I might have completely forgotten these settings. And I'm just like, what was that setting that I used again? And I just go into my heart folder and then I pull out a stitch and I'm like, there's my favorite guy. And it's already set. This might not seem to be something that you might find so useful until you're in a situation where, for example, you're using a buttonhole stitch that you need for a certain button size, and for the love of everything, you've forgotten that buttonhole setting that was perfect for that particular dress pattern or that bag pattern, right? So it is amazing that they brought in all these really nice. So you got lettering as well on the machine. So I have ability with lettering and with combination mode, which is a little plus sign, to create unique patterns. So I want to write my name, and I'm going to do just that. And that's going to be my first stitch on my fabric today. How cool is that, guys? And you know what? Oh my god, I suppose I am slightly moronic and I spelled my name wrong. Easy way to delete, right? It's so like, I don't want the eyes, I'm just gonna take that out. So you just click select and take out. How cool is that? Can I use my finger for the touchscreen? Why, let's try this out. Of course I should be able to. There we go. Sorry, let's go back. So as you can see, you can use the finger part of my, I'm using my nail more than anything right now. But you can. I kind of find the experience on the stylus a lot more accurate. But you could use your hands. You don't lose your stylus. Always keep it back, all right? So now that I've selected my stitch, I'm going to go back. And now see how beautifully the bernette is displaying my name. And I know it's going to take up 7 millimeters and 8 millimeters. If I want to know how much the overall design takes up, I come to info, select the whole thing. So it's a 7 millimeter by 28 millimeters, so what, 0.7 centimeters by 2.8 centimeters. Now, how amazing is that my machine can tell me all of this. Now I want my name to only come once, and I want the stitch to stop at the end of the letter H. So I come to triangle and I have selected 1. Now that we've threaded the top and the bobbin was already threaded, can we just like run this and see how it goes, right? Cool. But I feel like I want to set up my machine properly, so I'm going to actually now add the slide-on table so you can see how big the surface is before we start sewing. This is the massive slide-on table that I've just pulled out from the box, and I'm going to just basically slide it on. That is a really nice amount of space that you're getting to sew. Where did I leave my fabric? One moment, I'm coming. Okay, so I got my fabric, and now you know I'm just gonna sew my name. Guys, this is just basic felt. I'm not taking this too seriously, but you should be able to sew on absolutely any garment using this machine as long as you know how to set it up. All right? So I have used the button to move the foot, but now that the machine is on, guys, you got the Bernina knee lift into the bernette, and this is actually new technology being introduced into bernette. It is not even there in the Bernette 38, which is one of our best selling bernette models. A lot of people who are new to sewing or who are only sewing garments and they want to do basic everyday stitching, they're enjoying the benefits of the 38. So if you just want to level up a little bit more, you want a machine that does embroidery and all these fun features, not a very big price difference, and you're gonna get all this stuff. I am just doing basic chit chat as I undo this. I'm so known for this. Oh gosh, one moment. Right. I wanted to just plug this in and show you how we are getting. I like using the foot pedal. I don't know, a lot of people prefer. I mean, we've tested this out with a lot of people. End of the day, you can have the start-stop button as well, but I feel that most amount of control comes from this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sew. Let's do this. First stitches. So while it does that, you can see I can increase and decrease speed very easily. And it should stop at the end of that H. And it did. And I just want to cut. Has a cut feature, lifts it up. Hi, my name is Aish. How cool is that, right? What else can I add on to this? So let's have a look here, right? Because I'm going to just do one more where I show you guys just using the start stop button. So I'm going to come back to my pattern. Come here, I'm going to come back to my pattern, and I want to add something at the bottom. So I'm going to come to the 4th letter, and I don't want to add another letter. I want to add a symbol. So I am trying to look for a heart. I assume there's a heart somewhere here, because it's a very basic shape. There we go. So now you can see after the letter H, there's a nice heart. That's very me. Okay, so let's go right to the top. I'm going to, again, it's still, if you can actually look down here, guys, it is going to end it in the end of the overall design. So I'm going to select the whole design once again so I know the overall size. And after that, you see the little thing there? It's going to even give me a little knot. So it's clean stitching, right? This time, I'm just going to hold the top thread so that it doesn't get snagged anywhere. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the start stop button. So you don't need to feed it. There's a feed dog pushing it, of course. I just have to make sure my fabric is straight. That's what my hands are doing. And I want to see the heart. Here we go, baby. And thank you, darling. So that looks nice. It's Aish with some love. Okay, so now I just basically wanted to take you guys very quickly through how it looks like to just get yourself started on this machine. Of course, there's so many other features, and we will try to cover this in other YouTube videos. What I want to do now quickly is show you how much fun it is to embroider. So I'm going to load on an embroidery design from what's available in the Bernette 79 library, and we'll just do a very quick embroidery and then we're done. So we're going to just do a very quick embroidery run just for you guys to have an idea on how the Bernette 79 embroiders. So they've got a new style of the hooping system, and I really hope I'm able to show this to you really well. So place it on a preferably flat surface. I have a layer of interfacing or stabilizer. Just going to keep it this way so it's just flat. And then I'm just using basic felt today, guys, nothing too serious. Yeah. And I'm not doing any real marking because, once again, we're not getting into those kinds of details today. There is the arrow there. I hope you can see the arrow. And there is the coinciding arrow at the base of the hoop. All right, so that's just for me to know the alignment before I go ahead and hoop it. Right, so it's all about creating that snug fit. So now that I'm not able to find it, this little hook over here, when it's on, there's on tension. When I remove it, it's loose. So now you'll see the difference with me trying to close it, because it happens just instantly or instantaneously, right? And I know that my fabric is pretty tight. So what I do now is I then just brace this once again. And then if I want to tighten further, I use the screw. But right now, when I touch it, it's got that drum that, you know, like the kind of sturdiness that you get when you touch the surface of a drum. It's kind of like that. It should be pretty flat and smooth. And now I know it's ready to go for embroidery. So I'm going to get into the embroidery mode, and the first thing that I want to do is I want to change the stitch plate. So I'm moving from the sewing stitch plate of 7mm to the straight stitch plate 0mm. All right, so I'm going to use the screw. I'm going to unscrew. Yeah, it's a tiny screwdriver. Sort of loosen the plate. There's no confusion on how to change the plate, at least. Okay. The machine has already detected that it's a 0mm stitch plate. I want to do a test here. Oh my god. Okay, so this is a really nice feature. It's called the intelligent sewing machine, right? So suppose I forget to change the stitch plate to my 7mm stitch plate, and then I hit a zigzag stitch. Notice how the sewing machine refuses to zigzag, even if I try to increase stitch width. It's called a smart sewing machine. It prevents you from doing silly things that allows you to, say, damage your needle or damage even your sewing stitch plate, right? Because that's what happens if you use the wrong stitch. So it's pretty cool that the Bernette 79 is a smart sewing machine. So I'm going to just put this guy back in. I've come to the embroidery mode, and I have disengaged the dual feed. I have changed the foot to the embroidery foot, and I can see already a built-in collection of embroiderables that comes with the sewing machine. So any of these that I open up, this looks like a quilting pattern, a file. There's also letters, and as the sewing side, you can always save your favorite designs in your folder. There is a USB plug, which you can of course attach from the side of the machine, and this is where you would get in your purchased designs or your digitized designs to get into the sewing machine. So it's pretty cool. I'm totally in love with myself today, so I'm going to write my name. They have Arabic letters. Sorry. But you know what? When I did my research on this model, and this is the first time I'm looking at the 79, there was no mention on Arabic lettering. And then here I opened this amazing model, and it's kind of like, after all these years of us giving feedback that the Middle East needs its language on a keyboard without having to digitize. Thank you. This goes to my beautiful, beautiful creators and engineers in Bernina. You guys are amazing. So guys, actually wanted to show you another feature on the machine, which is going to be a bit tricky to do with Arabic lettering. So I'm going to just show you with my first name. I can add a second layer, and I'm going to probably change the font. I want to make it a bit smaller. Okay, so there we go. So now we're going to just show you how you can manipulate and quickly edit on the sewing machine. So I'm going to move the sews down. That's Aish moving up, then I'm going to select sews and I can move it down. If I want to move it more specifically, I can use the knobs, where the top knob is for horizontal and this is for bottom and top. One of the really cool features that I thought was pretty amazing, and I'm going to show you why. I am using a medium hoop today, is I'm going to add on a third design from the library. Hopefully I'm able to find it. Okay, so I have a circular frame. I'm going to change the color of that guy. Now I'm going to reduce the size of the other ones. Change the color of the E, which is why it's a light gray. Don't reduce more than 80%, guys. 20% of your design size when you're manipulating. That's always a good place to go with. So I'm going to select my name, and this is one of the features that I wanted to show you guys, right? So I come to the info and I want to curve my name by a certain angle and see how possible and how easy this is. I really like this feature because this is usually an advanced level embroidery editing feature on a digitizing software, but they've made it so easy on the 79 that I just feel like it's so easy. If you want to look for a nice little arc on a line, you can actually get that very easily here. So I'm going to now move my name a bit down to sort of fit well within the circle. Right, and I'm going to come to the sews. Again, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to go downwards this time, and it looks good enough to me. I'm going to move this guy down, and see, now I feel like it can curve more, so I come back to that, and then sorry, that's the one where I wanted to go. Spread the letters a little bit further away. There we go. And I have a design that I like. Now if I want to reduce the overall size, I can come down to the last layer, and now it has selected everything, and I can move it. Reduce the size. Oh, it does not allow me to reduce more than 80%. It's pretty cool. More than 20%, sorry. So I'm going to increase the size just to make it fit. Okay, I'm going to bring you a bit up. Okay. This guy the same green. I'm going to make this guy the same green. I'm going to make this guy the same green. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn it yellow. So if I come back now to my sewing sequence, you can see that it's going to be first all the blacks, which is my name, Aish, then all the greens, which is the sews, and then there is, so I like to do this so that when I'm embroidering, I'll come to this in a moment. Calibration. Okay, so you'll see it in a bit, like what I mean with that, right? So I'm just going to put the hoop. It's a very simple slide on process, not very complicated. That's it, latched on, and now I let my machine calibrate the hoop. So when you actually see this now, it's going to go black, 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 and then green. So this is where the machine is going to stop and say, do you want to change your thread to like a green thread? Because that's what the digitizing looks like. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to let it go ahead and stitch it all in one color. But this is nice because once I set the embroidery and I want to go take a cup of tea or coffee or whatever, it doesn't just sew everything up in one color. right? So these are digitizing tricks inside the machine. I didn't need a software for it, and I think it's pretty cool that you can do that there. So anyways, I'm going to come back to my very first stitch and go ahead and embroider it. A lot in terms of what happens with the thread breaks, etc., etc. We'll cover it in another tutorial. For now, I'm just excited to push play, which I can, and just see what happens. Push the start button, darling. Thank you. Press and hold. Okay, so this is where I cut. I'm gonna get my scissors. Press and hold. So if I'm confident with the way my stitches are coming out, I can increase the speed. And I can tell 24 minutes, and I can even go faster. So the Bernette 79 is versatile. It has got so many things inside it that you can enjoy as a sewist and even as an embroiderer. So I would feel that if you're somebody who is working on a very tight budget, but you're looking for a machine that can keep you busy for a long time, this is a very, very good place to start from. So you're more than welcome to come down to Classic Quilts. We are in Dubai, in Jumeirah. But if you cannot come to us, we have a beautiful online store, and you can just order the 79 to your doorstep, and you can use this tutorial to unbox and get yourself started. So my name is Aish, and I will see you in our next YouTube video on various sewing subjects. Until then, you guys stay safe, stay home, and keep sewing.